Hello, everyone. My name is Eva Tweedy, and I'm a member of the Pathway Support Team for our District 55. I'm excited today to give you a brief overview on pathways in our Pathways 101 training. This training is designed to help everyone, members, officers, people who are just interested in seeing what Toastmasters is like, and it will help you understand our education program and the online portal. So let's get started. First off, when I say pathways, this could have a different meaning depending on who you're talking to. Pathways is our new education program. In Toastmasters, historically, we have had what we call our traditional program, which was subdivided by two paths. You had your communication track and your leadership track. This worked very well for a lot of people. But over time, Toastmasters International decided that we needed a change. We needed to try new things, adapt to new technologies, and just make sure that we are meeting the needs of all of our constituents. So in that case, they came up with pathways, in which there are 11 paths that you can pick from or follow that each have aspects of leadership and communication within one program. So you no longer have to focus on one track or the other. Now you pick a focus area, whether it's leadership, we have dynamic leadership as a path, leadership development, or perhaps it's presentation mastery that you want to focus on. And depending on the path that you pick, you have required courses and electives that all specialize around that path. So when we talk about pathways, we talk about this whole education program. But some people may also refer to it as a tool. That is called Basecamp. So while Pathways is the education program that you follow, you actually log into an online platform called Basecamp in order to progress through the program. It's like taking an online course at a university. The online course that you're doing might be marketing, but you're going through something like Saba, My Learning, e-learning, the different name for it, but that's the online interface. So in that case, we are all participating in pathways. We are following a path, and we're using the Basecamp program to help us. There are several resources that we have in our district and across the world that can help you understand more about pathways. One of them, of course, is toastmastersinternational.org, but my favorite, and I might be a little biased, is our District 55 Pathways webpage. So within District 55, you can either go straight from the home page and click on the Pathways icon right here on the right, or simply type in tmd55.org. That's Toastmasters, so TMD, Toastmasters District 55.org/pathways. And this will get you to our district pathways page. Here you can see we have information on what are the paths and what are the levels within those paths. We have 11 different specialized learning paths that you can take at this point. I have heard rumors that there are a few more coming our way, but right now we have 11. And again, those range from dynamic leadership and effective coaching to visionary communication, motivational strategies, and our newest one, engaging humor. There is something for everyone. And with these paths, everyone follows these 5 levels, ranging from difficulty. So you start with level 1, which everyone has the exact same level 1. No matter which path you're on, everyone will do an icebreaker. Everyone will do an evaluation feedback project and research and presenting. And as you continue through the levels, what you do changes depending on your path. The required courses that I have on my path may be different than the ones that you do. And we have several resources that will help you determine which path you want to take based on those courses. We talk about projects. A project is not necessarily a speech. A project may include several speeches, may include taking on a role, or it may actually include not doing a speech at all. It just depends on what your path is. But primarily, one project tends to equate to a speech in the task that you have to do. However, very early on, they tell you that there's an evaluation feedback project that you do. This is actually one of my favorite projects because it makes you learn from your own mistakes or improve what you're already doing well. You give a speech, you get evaluated on that speech. So you have to learn how to take criticism, how to incorporate other people's opinions in order to make your second speech better. And then you give that second speech again, or another speech incorporating what you learned. This project also requires that you be an evaluator, that you have that opportunity to learn how to give feedback and not just receive it. So that's why it's one of my favorites and the one I learned quite a lot from. So again, every single path has those 5 levels, and they do range in difficulty, getting exponentially more difficult and more time-consuming as you continue on. After you complete those 5 levels, you will complete your path and hopefully start your next one. As we scroll here on the District 55 Pathways webpage, you will see that we have organized the resources based on where you are in your journey. Whether you're just getting started and you need to understand what this is all about, to further down when you pick your path and navigate through the program, and we have resources here for officers as well. Some of my favorite resources are right here on this page, right here in the Picking Your Path section. The number one resource that I share with all of my fellow Toastmasters and my mentees is the Pathways, Path, and Project Catalog. This document depicts everything that is in each of these paths. There's an assessment that you can do online on toastmastersinternational.org to help you decide which path you want to do. But if you're anything like me, you might want to do the research yourself. I don't trust what others tell me. I want to find it out. I want to do my own analysis. And so what I did was I came in here and I looked at all the different options. What skill do I want to focus on? Where do I want to improve? And within this document, we have a matrix that shows you all of the 11 paths and which courses are offered on each. So if that's how your brain works and you can see things in a linear fashion, then this might be a helpful document for you. When I was first starting out, this was a little more than I needed. This was better when I picked my second path. So I could directly see what I have already done and which path would give me the most to learn or the most new courses that I could take. But when I was just starting out, I actually looked at the individual pages or page summaries. So for instance, I was interested in leadership. So I was debating between either the dynamic leadership or the leadership development path. And so what I did is I actually compared both of those pages side by side, and I looked at the required courses. The electives were about the same, so that wasn't a consideration for me. Instead, it was what was required and which did I like. And so I looked at both of those pages and I went, do I like this course or this course better? And I would put a check. And I'd go to the next one. This one or this one? Check. And then I added up the check marks and I determined that dynamic leadership was the path for me. So that's the one that I did. Very similarly, when I picked my second path, I looked at what sounded cool, which sounded like it would challenge me the most. And then, as I said, which one have I not done? Some of these projects will be the same, comparative between one path and another. But for me, I wanted to make sure that I did as many new items as I could, while still staying true to the areas of focus that I wanted to develop. So I went from dynamic leadership to motivational strategies. And I'm very excited because one of my upcoming projects is on EQ, which is emotional intelligence. And we use that a lot in corporate. I'm in marketing, and I think that this is a really important skill to have to develop my EQ, and I can't wait to take it. Not quite there yet. I just started my new path, so I need to keep going, but I'm very, very excited about that opportunity. This is just one document that we have on our district page. You can see here there are several. So depending on the way that you learn and how you can process information, we have different formats of these paths in the descriptions so that you can really use what fits best for you. Another thing on here that is incredibly important is this level completion checklist. So this will show you what you need to do in order to accomplish your goal. My goal is to get a DTM, which is a Distinguished Toastmaster Award. To do that, I have to do 2 paths and a few other criteria. So for me, I really use this document in order to stay up to date. What do I need to do next? What else is coming up? Do I need to plan for it? Some roles, especially in levels 4 and 5, require that you have a time commitment, that you're in a volunteer organization, taking a leadership role for 6 months, or whatever it may be. So planning that out in the future, way ahead of time, helps with that. So this document is incredibly important. It's also great for your VPE if you want to show them where you are and what your status is. Just for an example, I can show you what mine looks like. So this was for my first path. And you can see I added my own text box so that I can put the title of my speech, and then I put the date. I didn't go back and get an electronic signature from my VPE because we were using another document for that as a club. But for me personally, this was great to know when I did something. And you can see the time between when I started my icebreaker to all the way down here when I finished my last speech on this path. There's a pretty big difference here. You'll see 2 years, a little bit over 2 years. And so that's my journey. Your journey may be faster or it may take more time. This is all up to you. Toastmasters is a self-paced program. So you don't have to worry about trying to rush through anything, or if you're going too slow, it doesn't matter. It's all up to you and your personal goals. So that is another helpful resource. And you can continue to scroll through our webpage, and I encourage you to look at this on your own time to see where you can learn and what else you can do. We have some old trainings on here. We have our pathway support team and all of our names. Now this is currently being updated. As of July 1st, we have a new term, so very excited to get the new names up here. And we've actually removed some of that division support so that you can go to any person that you might have a relationship with or anyone that you've met previously. In this case, you've seen this video, you want to reach out to me, perfectly okay. My email's listed right here, and I'd love to hear from you. Now that we've looked at all this, why don't we go to Toastmasters International and see what information we have? So toastmasters.org, you would go, and the first step is to log in. You'll see my name is already here. I've already logged in. But you click on that and you can put your information in. And I want to go to my club. I want to go and see my information. If you're an officer, you can go to Leadership Central and see your club reports. If you're a member, you're not going to have access to that, but you can go and look at your profile, which is what we're looking at here. And you can see information. You can see my address. You can see my phone number. Now, this is me again. This is not available to everyone. But I can go in here. I can see my past education awards. So you can see when I got my DL5, which is my Dynamic Leadership 5. And this is really great to check to see whether what you're doing in Pathways is actually showing up in Toastmasters records. There is a check and balance system here between this online portal that I'm about to go into and TI's website so that someone doesn't accidentally say that they marked something complete when they haven't. So sometimes it's a good idea to keep in mind what shows here so that you know where you stand in the eyes of our big brother in a way in Toastmasters International. Enough of that. Let's go straight to Basecamp. The fastest way, click on the Pathways tab and click Go to Basecamp. You can also just click on the Pathways button and go to maybe choose a path if you've yet to choose a path, or go to the navigator to learn more information. It's all up to you, but for me, I'm going to click straight on Go to Basecamp, and you'll see the redirect, and bam,
I go right to where I was, which is my paths and learning. There's a notice. We've recently updated the website. I haven't, but Toastmasters International has updated our Basecamp infrastructure. What it looks like now, if you go to the home page, is a lot of blue, a lot of white, and a lot of click links. So here you can see paths and learning. This is what we used to have as our education transcript. If you're a brand new member, this is the only thing that you're used to seeing. If you've been in Toastmasters a little while, you might remember that we had a row of a few boxes that you could pick from. We called them tiles. But now they've actually put it all in one page and you can scroll and hit everything. Take note of this video spot right here. They will constantly be changing the videos that are showing to give you the most recent and up-to-date. Right now, it's obviously learn about the new homepage, but later they might have a new one. Maybe it's about a new path or a new project or a new helpful tip that they found. So just keep an eye on the videos that show there. They will be alternating depending on what's new and what's cool. So what all is here? First off, I want to point out there's a maroon Return to Toastmasters profile button. If you click on that, it'll take you right back to where we were on Toastmasters.org. So really great in case you want to go back there. Thing you'll see here is Paths and Learning. This is where you get to your education transcript or your path. If you want to go get into one of your speeches or one of your projects, this is where you go. You can also directly grab someone's evaluation. Say you're the evaluator for a speaker today, giving their evaluation feedback project 1. You can go and click here, and I'll actually do that for you. And you can see if you scroll down, all of the possible projects that we have here. And you would go and click on Evaluation Feedback Resource 1. You would click Launch. And in a new tab, it will launch that resource so that you can fill it out for your club member. So I'm going to go back, simply hit my back button, and go back to the home page. There's also a nice big button here for tutorials and resources. There are so many resources that Toastmasters International has made for you for this program. If you forget, how do you find your project? How do you find an evaluation resource? How do you do X, Y, or Z? You can look in here and you can filter by, okay, do you have a question on, you want to watch a video? Do you want to watch a document? What is it that you want help with? Do you want to do a little bit of an online training? And you can filter those resources by that. So here I just clicked on video, and you can see here that there's a video for accessing your path, completing a level, and completing a project, and more. So again, I got here by going from the home page and clicking on the tile. You can also go directly on that top navigation bar and click the drop down to go right back to where we were. One thing to note, Toastmasters International is borrowing this program from someone else who made it. We did not create this ourselves. Therefore, there may be a few things that do not directly align with how we might prefer to navigate. For instance, you will note that anytime I want to go to anything on this top navigation bar, I have to click on the drop down. If you click up here, nothing's going to happen. So again, click on that drop down. Once you get in the hang of it, you don't even notice you're doing it. But if you've yet to try, it may get a little frustrating. So just be aware that you have to click on that drop down. It's a small price to pay to not have to develop our own program and charge the members a bunch of money. So I'm really appreciative for that. What else is on here? Well, you have feedback, badges, documents, all these really cool things that you can do. And you have a summary of, again, your paths and learning. What projects are you doing? What are you working on? It's a hot link, so you can go directly here. I can see that's my motivational strategies path, and I can click directly on open curriculum, and I pop right in to where I am in my level 1 project. Another way to get here, going back to the home page, resetting, I want to click on this tile, Paths and Learning, and here I'm given the option on which one I want to jump into. You may just see one thing listed here, or if you've been playing around in the program, you may have a few items. Always look for that stack of books. That's what we call your path. Anything that's a major program that you are participating in will have a stack of books. So my path, and I just started the Pathways Mentorship Program, which is a certification in mentorship that is only offered once you've completed level 2. I'm very excited to get started with that. I want to go back to my team at work with that certification to show that I have a certification in mentorship. That'll be great to help develop me as a people manager, to show that not only have I gone down this path of dynamic leadership, but I've been certified in mentoring, I've been in these volunteer roles, and that'll give me that clout that I need to become a people manager, to be trusted to be in that position of authority. And I can't wait to get there. So I'm doing everything I can now to prepare myself for the future. You'll see that it does look like a stack of books as well because it is a program that you follow. So for this instance, I can choose to open my curriculum, which will go right back to that page I was at with the levels on the side and the different projects on the right. Or I can click here on View Training Details. If you want to see something that looks like a transcript, like what you had in university, maybe in high school for your kids, if you just want to see everything that you're doing in that path, you click on that and you will see the entire breakdown. As an officer, you actually have access to this for your members as well. So if you happen to be an officer and you want to see where someone is or what they're looking at, you can go here and you can see what's active, what's not been activated. It's a little boring right now for this path because I just started. So you can see that I'm in progress for my icebreaker. Once I start activating these other projects, if I just start looking at them or I jump around and I want to complete something down here, you'll see that turn from not activated to in progress and then complete. So this is just another way to view things. Toastmasters is being very nice to us and trying to put information in different formats so that we can all get what we need in the way that we can understand it. You can filter by what's been activated and what's not been. So it's really great to see all of that in one go. But let's go back. I mentioned that there's a few ways to get to everything. So we went to our path by going down here. We've also clicked on the tile. And this last way we're going to do it is simply going straight up to the top and clicking on Paths and Learning. This time I'm going to click the Open Curriculum button and go right back to my curriculum, to my path. So super cool, so many ways to get to the same place. So no matter where you are, you should be able to jump straight to your path, open that project, and get started. Talking about doing a project, how do you actually go through with one? For my evaluation feedback speech, or my project, which is my next speech that I'm going to give, I haven't activated that yet. So when I click here, you'll see it change from activate to launch. And now that it says launch, I can open the PDF and actually go through the program. So here we go, it's loading, and you can see it should start with the home page, my title page. There you go. And I can go through the project, I can start learning, it's telling me how to navigate, which is great. Introduction, what's my assignment, and so on. Now, if I want to jump straight to a certain page, maybe I've already looked at this before, and I just want to come in and remember how to do, perhaps how to receive feedback. Give me those hints again. How do I do this? And you can jump straight there by using that navigation bar on the bottom. Another thing I like to do personally is I go here, go to your evaluation, and go to print my project. This will develop just that PDF, something that you can print off, that you can work off of. I like to take notes when I'm writing a speech so that I can really apply what I'm learning. So I'll print it off and highlight it. And so for me, the PDF is very important. But I make sure that I don't just rely on the PDF. The online program has a lot of videos that you can watch. It has quizzes. So here it's asking you, how do you do this? And it's checking whether you understand. And it's really something that you miss if you only look at the PDF. So I encourage you to go through the program. Make sure that you do the quizzes, watch the videos, listen to the sound bites, because they will help you understand the concepts. So I'm going to close out of that and go right back to my curriculum. You'll see here that my icebreaker was already launched. It was already in progress. But that's actually wrong. I finished my icebreaker just a couple weeks ago. And yet, it doesn't look like it's completed. My status level here says 0%. My overall status for my entire path is still at 0. Something's wrong. The problem is that I never finished doing my icebreaker project. Yes, I gave my speech, but I didn't go back and mark it as complete. And in order to mark something as complete, I have to make sure that I've done my post-assessment. One thing that's really cool that Toastmasters is doing is they are giving you a benchmark to directly compare yourself to before you learned the information to after. How do you feel now? Do you understand what you're doing? Did you learn something? Do you see how this applies to your life? And then once you do that, you can directly see, well, I was at a 3 before and now I'm at a 5. And it's really cool to see that, but it is something you're going to have to remember to do so that you can get that change in status. So let's do it now. I'm going to click on the launch button, and again, it'll pop up in a new tab and should come right up to the last page I was on. Let's see. Yep, right here on my evaluation. So go here to, let's see, assess my skills after. So the one I did before was assess my skills before, and now this one is assess my skills after. It'll pop up with directions, making sure that I understand what I'm doing. I'm good, I've done this before. And now I go through this post-assessment quiz. Note that there are navigation here with back and next, and there's also larger navigation on the side. Within any type of module, whether it's a quiz, whether it's this assessment, whether it's a video, always use the ones within the module itself, not the outside navigation. If I click there, I'll go away from the quiz, while if I click next or answer, I'll go through these little buttons here to go through the different questions. Just something to keep in mind. So am I confident, calm, and speaking? Well, yes, I think I am. So I click next, go to the next question. I understand the structure. I'm aware of my strengths. I feel like I am. We'll see. And really go do this and spend time doing it. Don't just click through it like I am. I actually am doing this more for the sake of training than for myself, but I have done one before. It is good to always do this with a clear mind so that you can see those results. Get real data. Don't just breeze through it. You'll see here, submit. Now I get the direct comparison to how I was before to how I am now, which is fabulous. I can see that I've grown just doing this icebreaker a second time. And now when I click out of here, you'll notice the status change. I'm now at 5% complete. It's a small change, but it does make me happy. I like to see those achievements showing in my status here. One thing to note is you have two different indicators. You have the level completion status, which is inside the right box, and then you have the total status for the overall path. So I'm 25% with my level, and I'm only 5% complete with this entire path. As you progress, you'll notice that these circles will become checkboxes as you complete those levels and move forward. And also you'll notice there's a blue happy check in the top right corner of my computer icon. And as I go through those, they will become checkmarked as well. And my status will continue to get better, continue to progress to that 100%. After you complete a project, you have a couple of days to do an evaluation. This is giving feedback directly to Toastmasters International. They encourage you to let them know how you think it went, whether there's something they need to change, whether you really like something. Make sure to give them that feedback. This is your program. This is for you to get better and to become an amazing Toastmaster, public speaker, and leader. So we strongly encourage you to take advantage of that and give them some feedback. We all know here that feedback is something that helps you learn and helps you grow, and even the organization wants to know that. So don't forget to do it. So we've gone through our path. We've started a project, we've marked it as complete, we've seen our status change. The next thing that we should do is go into feedback. We talked about giving evaluations and where to find those, but what about feedback directly in the tool? Not just in your club, not just in your meeting. And there's a few ways to get there. You can go to your feedback right here in the feedback section. You can see, and we'll go click on that now. And you can see here that people have actually given me feedback. In this case, one of our members, one of our officers previously, has given me feedback on 2 separate occasions. And not only did he write a nice note to me, but he gave me this cute little icon. These are called badges. And when you give someone a badge, it's one step up from giving them just feedback. It's telling them that I was inspirational. I was exceptional. It's more than just you did a great job. It's you made me feel something. You did something out of the ordinary. And like getting a ribbon in a club meeting, now I have these badges attached to my profile that anyone can see, at least anyone in my club. So if I go here, and so I'm in my profile, I can go to my portfolio, and I have the option of seeing my documents or seeing my badges. I'm going to click here on my badge, and here you'll see a variety of different badges that I've both received and earned. Ones that stand out right now are these 2 gray badges. This means that I've activated that path. So you'll see here my Dynamic Leadership Proficient badge is nice and bright and happy. That's because I started my Dynamic Leadership path. I went through level 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then I accomplished that path and got my brand new Dynamic Leadership Proficient badge. So those are exciting. Those are based on your education, where you're going through on those projects, giving those speeches, taking on those leadership roles. But these orange badges, these amazing little hexagons, are based on what someone has given to you. So you'll see the inspirational badge and the exceptional badge that my member Lee gave to me. And to me, those mean more than just accomplishing a level. That is something that he went out of his way to award to me. It's going to stay on my profile. That really makes me feel appreciated. It makes me feel happy and loved as a team member. So it's a great thing to do. And I strongly encourage you all to do that. So you ask, Ava, how do I give someone a badge? What you do is you have to go find the member that you want to give feedback to. Right here in the search box, you can search for either your club. So I can go here to Dell Master Speakers, that's the name of my club, and hit enter. And you will see everyone popping up as a member of my club. So if you can't remember how to spell someone's name, or perhaps you want to look someone up, you can go do that by just typing in your club name and seeing everyone. If you have someone in mind, you can go directly to the search and you can go and give that person feedback. So for instance, I can go click on Cheadle. She's our newest president. Very excited about that. Now I'm in her profile. Next, I click on feedback and I can go and give her feedback. This is done a few different ways. You can either give feedback through an attachment.
You can give feedback directly here in text. You can also attach a badge. That's what Lee did for me. And when you click on here, you can see what the badges are that are being offered. We previously had 5. They've just come out with the 6th one, which is adaptable. Very exciting. And if you hover over them, they'll give you a short, very short description, but just to give you a little bit more information on what those badges mean. So for instance, adaptable means that you demonstrated the ability to adapt to changes. Innovative, that they contributed creative ideas to your club meeting. Maybe it was the speech that they did. Maybe it was a workshop that you did. And so here I'm going to click on courageous, and I'm going to give some feedback. So now I've written a little note to her. I've given her a badge. The next step is to determine who will see this. So when you give someone a badge, they are visible to everyone. If you don't like that idea, if you don't want everyone to see the feedback that you have, make sure that you copy just in case it closes out, that you cancel this. And again, you'll see that it did reset. I've seen it do that on a few occasions, so I was prepared. And if I don't want everyone to see what I wrote to her, maybe I just want her to see it. So instead of having everyone, I can click either just her or her managers. Now, this is not a manager at work. This is what we call a base camp manager. The president, the secretary, or the VPE, the vice president of education. Those are the only 3 people that have access to the back end of this tool, so they're the ones that would see it if you click on managers. In this case, I want everyone to know that I'm super proud of her and she's being amazing. So I'm going to click on everyone. I am going to go back and add that courageous badge, and I'm going to hit post. Hopefully it didn't make a spelling error. And there we go. Now the one drawback is that Toastmasters likes to make us feel surprised. So she will not get an email that I just attached a badge and gave her feedback. What she's going to have to do is just visit her own profile and look at the feedback section. If I was feeling generous, I might go send her a note letting her know to go look there, or I might just leave it and see how long it takes her to find out that she has a message. Depending if she watches this video, I might just let her sit and find out later. It's more fun that way. In a lot of Toastmaster clubs lately, they've started a role called Badge Master or Feedback or Base Camp, Badge Supplier. I don't know. We have Badge Master that we've been talking about, and that's someone who is designated to go give a random club member, someone in the club, feedback within the tool. And then after the meeting, you can go log in and see if maybe it was you or maybe it was another member of your club. Just a thought. Might be a fun role to take on. Maybe you want to go give someone feedback and you want to be your own designated badge master. Whatever it is, I strongly encourage you to use this tool. It's easier to keep track of. You don't lose it like the little strip of papers that we used to use in my club, and it's right here. Talking about not losing things, let's go to that ePortfolio again and look at documents. So within your documents, you can actually, oh, I'm still in her profile. My goodness. Well, that's not going to work. She doesn't have any documents here that I can see. I need to go to my own profile. So I can do that by going home, or I can just click on my picture and go here to my portfolio. And there we go to documents. Here you see that I only have a few documents listed for level 3. That's because we are still in person and I have a lot of my documents on paper and I've only scanned a few of them so far. I got a little behind, especially with COVID, so I need to go back and scan those to put them here because I can't lose what's in here. I can very easily lose these papers. But what I will do is click on Add File,
And now I'm going to go find my evaluation from my new icebreaker. So select File, and it's going to open up my Toastmasters document, and I'm going to scroll here and click on Eva Icebreaker. Yep, looked like it loaded perfectly fine. I can now add more documents if I like, or in my case, simply click the Add button, and bam. So now when I go into my documents, you'll see that Files has become 1, and here is my icebreaker. So here is what Louisa thought of my new icebreaking speech. So that's how you give feedback. That's how you upload your documents. When you are giving feedback, you can also attach the document. So if Louisa wanted to get that directly to me through my profile, she could have attached the eval form that way, but she had actually just emailed it to me after our meeting. So that's why I uploaded it myself. You can also request feedback through this tool. So going back to that feedback button, you'll see here it says feedback request. So again, I'm in my profile this time. So I can click here and I can say who I want feedback from. So I can write a note, tell me why, I don't know, and then select which member I want to get feedback from. So let's just search for Louisa. There we go. Like, yes, I want feedback from you, check mark. Yep, I'm done. I don't want to add more people, so I say done. Who do I want to see that feedback request and see that information? And click on post. The only thing is again, Toastmasters wants to keep us in a little bit of suspense, so Louisa will not be notified that I've asked for her feedback. That is why in my club, we are trying to get people used to going into this tool after every meeting to see what it says, whether you've gotten feedback from someone or a feedback request. It's a good rule of thumb that if you've requested feedback from someone that you let them know. Send them an email, send them a text, tell them at your meeting, just to make sure that they don't miss that information. In this case, I don't really want her to sing to me, so I'm going to click on cancel, tell me why, you just start singing. But that is how you do that. So we know how to start a project, we know how to complete one, we know how to give someone feedback or request feedback from someone, and how to upload our documentation to our profiles. What else do we need? Well, we talked about the tutorials and resources. And you can go to that page and you can look for what you want, or I prefer the search bar. So here, I didn't show you how to complete a level. I don't have that pending right now. It's a little bit harder for me to launch because you can't complete a level until you've actually completed the level. But if I go in here and I want to look for how to do a level request, you can see information on how to respond to a level. So that's if you're an officer. You can actually see some of my other search results, right? So people I've looked at recently. But let's just say level. So how to complete a level. Let's watch the video. Click on launch. And here we go. And go straight into completing a level. And it'll show us how. And you'll note that these are up-to-date videos. They have all the right formatting. Everything that you need to know is right in here. You know how to complete your projects, how to find evaluations, resources, feedback, and badges. There are probably other things that you might want to know, and you can always reach out to me separately, but that's a great overview, very basic on what you need to know in order to navigate this program. And don't forget that you can go visit the tutorials and resources and find more information and more detailed questions. And you can also reach out to your PST, which is your Pathway Support Team, or your Vice President of Education for your club. Thank you guys so much for attending this training. I wish you lots of luck down your path, and I can't wait to hear from you.